of 2024 so far. Obviously, I haven't read everything, and we'll see how this goes. So, if you're watching live, thank you. I don't have a screen up to see your comments, but go ahead, hit the like if you feel like it. So, we're going to start off with the Jim Rugg Guide to Pittsburgh Comic Book Stores, which isn't really a comic. This is a comic related item. And that's simply what it says it is. I wish more people would do stuff like this. I would love to have a guide of any kind when I go to bigger cities or areas to kind of help me find my way around the comic shops and find out what I'm looking for. So good on Jim for that. And this is something I will be taking back to Pittsburgh with me next time I go there. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about Rogues from Scout Comics. There are exactly 2 issues that have come out, and it's really looking like that's going to be it. The solicitations for this book have disappeared in previews, and I don't know what's going on with Scout Comics, but I liked this book. I got both issues that came out. I like the art. I like the story. It was just kind of a fun sword and sorcery thing. I was looking forward to more of this, along with their book Sydney Hammer, which also did not come out, or it does not appear to be coming out. So, yeah, I get it. Business can be tough. However, communicate with your fan base. Let us know that, hey, something's going on with this. So that's that. All right. So now I'm going to go into some books I like that have had 1 issue come out, or I've gotten 1 issue. I know issue 2 of FML is out, but my shop didn't get it because Diamond's having issues. So if you want to find out about that, you can go online and look that up. But that first issue was good. It's kind of a Portland set, coming-of-age story with monsters. Lower Decks, Star Trek Lower Decks, issue 1. Enjoyed that quite a bit. Welcome to the Maynard, number 1, which is a magical hotel with some kind of heisty crime stuff going on. Some great art. So really liked the first issue of that. It's by James Robinson, who did Starman back in the 90s, which I'm a big fan of. And then this is actually a variant cover for Black Canary Best of the Best, number 1. So that one looks promising, and I'm looking forward to more. And then we have Godzilla Monster Piece Theater by Tom Scioli with just Tom Scioli's usual great art. Just it's so well done, and the colors and the art, it's just perfect. The way it mixes The Great Gatsby and Godzilla. So, all right, speaking of Tom Scioli, his other book from this year is Witchman, which is another great book. This was a one-shot Kickstarter one, and just masterful cartooning. Just the colors and the art and the storytelling, perfect. Cannot recommend that one highly enough. A Last Goodbye, which is a weird little post-apocalyptic sci-fi book that I quite enjoyed. Despite the fact that it's very depressing, so be forewarned. All right. Penguina Blackfoot, number 1. This came out early in the year from Antarctic Press. I dug it. I think the various pop art styles are really cool. The storytelling was a lot of fun. Yeah, this one I didn't hear a lot of people talking about, but I actually very much enjoyed it. So, we're going to talk about some covers that I liked this year. So, Alex Ross's Doctor Strange covers were a particular favorite of mine. I got these 3 Doctor Strange ones. The one with the dog that I just showed was probably my favorite. And then the Chris Caruso covers for X-Men. These are the 2 of the 4 that have been released so far. And then he did a whole bunch for Venom and Venom War, which I like his like very energetic, cartoony, colorful take on these characters. You know, the big head kids kind of almost Muppet Baby-ish kind of thing. That just works for me. All right, so now we're going to get into some of my favorite Marvel series from this year. This is my favorite mini from Marvel. This was Avengers Twilight, which was a dark future book with this great Daniel Lacuna art about a world where hope has been lost and things have spun out of control in an unfortunate way. And it was really good. Very much enjoyed that. There's some more of the covers here. Very striking covers, in my opinion. All right. So yeah, that was a 6-issue miniseries. And then my favorite of the ongoing Marvels from this year were Fantastic Four. This book is just great. Almost all one-issue stories about science mysteries. This one was a great kind of film noir take. Great use of color, the tropes of film noir. And yeah, that was just really good. And then we get this fantastic Alex Ross cover that was part of the Blood Hunt crossover that actually was quite good. So that was well worth checking out. And then the latest issue in the series, which all I'm going to say is a skull that vomits blood was the solution to the problem all along. And the art was solid in this run as well. Highly, highly recommended stuff. All right. So for people watching, I am just kind of recording this live as my favorite comics of the year. Not really doing anything else with this. So watch if you like, but I don't really have a screen up to answer questions or deal with moderation or anything like that. All right, DC books. My favorite of their miniseries this year has been Plastic Man No More. Plastic Man dealing with his aging body, how he's perceived by the Justice League, and his family and friends. Yeah, really enjoyed it. It's not done yet. We got one more issue to go. Very much looking forward to more of that. Some very grotesque body horror stuff going on in this book that you don't really expect from a DC comic. So then, my favorite ongoing DC title this year was Wonder Woman, which is a book I've never followed in the past, but I very much enjoyed it. I love the art. I love the storytelling. Yeah, just all works for me on so many levels. And the backups were a lot of fun. So there's some covers. This absolute power tie-in where she's teamed up with Robin I thought was pretty great. There's 2 issues where she's teamed up with Robin. Let's see if I can get to the backup art here at all. Or the backup story at all. Yeah, there's Impulse and the former Young Justice. Yeah. And, we had some great alternate covers, like this this one with the Jose Luis Garcia Lopez variants from his work as doing the style guide for DC. There's the rest of the ones that came out, but this was the Wonder Woman one. And let's see. Yeah, just a solid book dealing with Wonder Woman. I want to get to this one. This one was the Trick or Treat variant, and this is probably one of the best mainstream comic issues from one of the big two that has come out this year. This is now the infamous What is the Point of Steve Trevor issue. Very emotional, very, very thought-provoking, very much a solid read. And here's the most recent issue that deals with the birth and creation of her child, Trinity. Or the aftermath of that, I should say. All right, moving along to kind of more like a weird indie series. This might have 2 issues that come out of here. This is Mythologies and Apocrypha. We're gonna look at issue 2 here a little bit. This has got, not John Wayne. It's Steve McQueen and Frank Sinatra, and this great like outsider art stuff. Just really interesting. I don't know that I want more than an issue of two of this a year, but this is great, dense, thought-provoking cartooning that's very much an outsider kind of a thing. Right. Indie limited series. Well, Yosaki Yojimbo's always good, and sometimes it's great. And this is the Yosaki Yojimbo, The Crow. I wound up being great. It's now in color. Just solid cartooning and adventure stories. This one was something special. Once again, Yosaki Yojimbo's always good, but this one was great. Let's see here. Got some more covers for that series. All right. Yep. Highly recommended. All right, let me get that out of the way. So the Power Fantasy is another book from this year that I really liked. That I think is one of the best, and definitely one of my favorite series. It deals with thoughts of what if superheroes were real, or people really had this kind of power. What would they do? Who would they be? How would they deal with each other? How would they deal with humanity? Yet another limited series that's gotten a lot of praise. I think the praise is worth it. So if you are of mind, check it out. All right, now we get into crime limited series, and this one definitely has a adult bent to it, and definitely some horror tinges. This is Minky Woodcock, The Girl Called Cthulhu. Let's see here. Just some great pop art, and I can't show a lot of it because there's a lot of nudity and violence, but it works within the context of what's going on in this story. We've got 2 issues so far, and I'm looking forward to more. So now moving on to straight up horror books. Prairie Gods. This is one I don't hear a lot of people talk about, or haven't seen them I've seen it talked about online. This is an anthology with each book has a different kind of story, or each issue, I should say. This one's a car race one. Second one's a sheriff. And then the newest one, this one, number 3, is set during World War I. And it's just great, chaotic, horror, sci-fi stuff. All right, so now this has moved on pretty quickly, but to what I consider my 2 favorite books of the year, because I can't decide between these 2. First, we have Babs from Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows. And yes, I have not been mentioning the creative teams. That's kind of on me, but this is a fantasy sci-fi kind of Conan-esque book with a sharp social satire, and really dig the art. I never thought that I would get this kind of a book from Garth Ennis, but here we are. So I actually laugh out loud at this book, and I find it to be incisive. about the ways people delude themselves into thinking they are part of the power structure when they're not, when they're being used. And then I like the as Garth Ennis said in an interview, Babs is good at the job but bad at being a person. I think that works really well. So highly recommended. Highly recommended. And we've got one or two more issues to come out. This is the most recent. And then finally, Grommets. Punk rock skateboarders, 1980s. I was a kid in the 80s. I went to punk rock high school. I knew a lot of skateboarders. Just the tone and the art and the characters ring so true to that era in so many ways. It is very nostalgic, but it also does capture both the good and the bad of what was going on at the time. And just some of the best covers of the year. Kids skateboarding and just trying to be kids during the 1980s, dealing with their parents and the world around them. So, yeah, just solid stuff. So that's it. Thanks to everyone who's watched. And those have been my favorite comics of the year. Thanks.